Broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Good morning, everybody. I will wait 1 minute and then I will start my presentation. Good morning, everybody. I will start this presentation. Maybe some attendees will join us a couple of minutes later. I will do this presentation in English because a couple of persons only understand English in this case. For people who don't know me yet, my name is Remy. I'm working with an exclusive network for more than 7 years at this moment. I'm giving a small presentation about our company as well. We are a value-added IT distributor, mainly focused on cybersecurity, networking, and cloud, and service and storage. We also got a global project management team. We can do all kinds of services for our partners, like pre- and post-sale support, pre-staging, financing, leasing. We are a value-added training center as well for our partners. It's in Dutch, so I'm going to translate it in English as well. We got offices in more than almost 50 countries worldwide, almost 2,200 employees worldwide. Last year we did a revenue target of almost 3 billion worldwide. That's a pretty good revenue as well. Here in Holland, we have a really great team as well. It contains pre-sales engineers, account managers, purchasing, renewal department, inbound telemarketing, etc., etc. We got 2 offices in Holland. One is in Nieuwegein in the center of Holland, and one is based in the south of Holland, called a place called Son. It's our headquarters as well. We've got almost 110 employees here in Holland. Last year we did a revenue target of 175 million. We got more than 50 vendors in our portfolio, and I'm not going to discuss them all because we are here for one of our top vendors, Huawei. These are our unique selling points, but I'm going to skip it. I just noticed somebody is seeing my first slide as well. Just a moment. I'm back again. Sorry, there was a small problem regarding my presentation. I'm going to scroll down back to a couple of slides. I'm not going to do my story again, but you can see our slides as well, and you can read it. Sorry for the inconvenience. We are a value-added ID distributor, and you can purchase several ways equipment via us. The original CAPEX and OPEX way, or the MSSD way, the managed security services part as well, and our exclusive on-demand portal, which is a subscription-based online web portal. Pretty cool, it's pretty new, and if you need any information about it, please let us know. Here you can also see our well-performing services to our partners. I mentioned a couple of them a few minutes ago, so I'm not going to say them again. One of our top vendors is Huawei. We are growing rapidly year by year. We are a distributor which are looking for the best technologies and best performing vendors. And this is a small step at Huawei as well, because they are a big vendor in our portfolio. They deliver high performance and top of the mountain equipment. And I want to, what I just mentioned, it's a small step to Huawei as well. I want to give the word to Robert, who is going to introduce the storage part of Huawei. Afterwards, his colleague Dirk will also introduce the IdeaHub, a new product of the EBG portfolio of Huawei. And I also want to say, if you got any questions, we will answer and take care of your questions after all the presentations. And if you fill in the survey afterwards, you can also earn free earbuds as well from Huawei. Robert, I want to give the word to you. Good luck.
Yeah, thank you. There we go. Let me check. I assume you can see my screen. Okay, so well, good morning all. As Remy mentioned, I'm Robert Lispet. I'm responsible for the technical part, actually, for the channel partners in the Netherlands. Let me just take a couple of things out of my side, otherwise I can't see my entire screen. And I'm only in for like 6 months, almost 7 months in Huawei. And what I notice is that our value-added distributors are extremely valuable to us, and I want to give my compliments to both of them. So Remy and Maxine, great job for putting this together. It's a great honor to be able to present on your webinar. So thanks for that. Huawei. So yeah, the brand itself, in the Volksmond we call it Huawei. We prefer Huawei or Huawei with a little G at the beginning. And from that on, I hope you will all try to get to learn the Huawei version. That is much appreciated. Building the foundation for the digital world. That's basically what we do. The entire portfolio that we have is specifically focused on getting everyone connected. And the foundation for that means is that we have the entire data centers from top to bottom. We deliver that with UPSs, with energy, with everything that you can imagine. And today we're going to focus only on one specific product, and that is storage. And within the storage division, you will see that later on, we have all kinds of products. And within that product portfolio, I picked just one specific product portfolio, and that is the all-flash arrays. So, but before I go into that, I know that there are a couple of general resellers in this webinar that are not really familiar with Huawei, and I can't move forward, I believe. No, it's stuck. Oh, there we go. So Huawei is built up in 4 specific business groups. So starting off on the left side, we have the carrier business that has everything to do with networking for mobile devices, for instance. And we do a lot of business with Orange and with Deutsche Telekom to provide that specific market. Everything to do for connecting devices. I skip the enterprise just for a second and move on to the cloud and AI business group, CABG. This is specifically developed for all the customers that want to use some kind of a cloud infrastructure. We do that basically, we provide that infrastructure for our customers. We do that together with 10,000 and more partners and 3 million enterprise development and developers that help us building our cloud platform for our customers. The right side, we have the customer business group that has everything to do with the mobile devices themselves, so smartphones. So basically, we build the foundation from a carrier perspective, and we let our users make use of that specific environment, like 4G and 5G infrastructures. So now I'm going to talk about the enterprise business group. That is the business group that I fit in, actually. All the products that are related in that business group, I can't mention them all. It's a huge amount, but I just focus on a small part. The entire company consists of almost like 200,000 people in total, and half of that is basically responsible for research and development. And I will show you that later on. These are the numbers in 2019. We had a year-over-year growth of almost 9 or a little bit over 19% in total. This is what makes it even more spectacular, to my opinion. I can't mention all of it due to the matter of time constrictions. What I want to point out is that in 2009, we spent almost $2.2 billion on research and development. 2019, we spent like 17 billion. Over a decade, we spent $75 billion only on research and development for the entire portfolio, so everything that we do. What I like to mention in this one is that we focus on the European market. We need to grow in this area tremendously. So just to give you an idea, in 2019, we were the #1 patent owner in the IT or ICT business environment. So that means that we are actually doing so many things. We are developing like crazy, and we're growing like crazy as well. But this is the focus. The first factory that we will build in Europe is in France. It will be available in 2023. And that gives you an idea because we are, of course, a Chinese company, but we want to localize it. So focusing on the European market and even starting a factory in here shows us that we are totally dedicated to this area. So in Europe, we have 23 research and development centers, like 100 university partnerships and 100 supply partners that support everything within our European business model. So let's talk about the storage portfolio. I need to go back just a little bit because we did some great stuff, and I'm sure you're not really aware of that because we do not marketing ourselves that well. So basically what we did in 2009, when the first SSD came into the market, we had our first all-flash array already in there. That was the Dorado, and we developed that until 2013. In 2014, we had the converged Ocean Store V3. That means that we supported NAS and SAN storage protocols from top to bottom, and we were recognized by IDC as the most stable active solution in the market at that time. So the world's fastest, we had that one in 2017. We even got a reward for that. Then all of a sudden, NVMe comes up, and we immediately adapted that. Instead of being such a huge private company with 200,000 people, we are agile. We can scale. We can design real quickly. And today, still accurate. In 2019, we started the first AI-chipped storage arrays. That means that we can provide customers with some intelligence inside of that specific storage array. It's an option, so it's not mandatory to have that inside. You can choose it if you like, and I will show you the details and the benefits of this specific chip inside the storage array. So here you can see the Ocean Store V5. This is a hybrid still, so it's a solid state based solution, and we can actually have still spinning drives in there. Specifically designed for mixed workloads. So you can have, I don't know, environments with heavy databases with a lot of transactions, and even have some file storage in the back end, and maybe some unstructured block storage as well. So the converged part is the SAN and NAS protocols that we support in this platform. Dorado V6, I will go deeper in this portfolio because I think this is the most potential product in the market, in the Dutch market, I like to say. This is a solid state design platform. What does that mean? We looked at the solid state drives and what kind of characteristics they had, and we built a storage array around that. So this is totally designed from the bottom up to specifically support all the best features in what a SSD can deliver. So very low latency, sub-milliseconds, and a really extremely high performance. We have a couple of things we focus on, like the ever fast, ever solid, and AI powered, and I would like to go into more detail later. From a mass storage data storage perspective, the scale-out platforms. Just to give you an idea, the Ocean Store 100D is a scale-out hybrid platform that supports all kinds of protocols like NFS, CIFS, POSIX, MPI, HDFS from farm block level. We have object storage protocols like Amazon S3 and NFS, of course. This platform can actually scale from 3 nodes until 4096 in total. So this is for the huge cloud environments for our providers. We have the Ocean Store Protect. It's also a scale-out platform. It's an intelligent backup and disaster recovery solution. The good thing is about this product, if you have some kind of a disaster and you have a couple of these in your infrastructure and you don't have any compute left to run your VMs on to recover them from a disaster, you can actually use the compute power of these devices and run your VMs on them until you are fully back up and running again. Then you can move it towards your primary storage environment. So this is the overview basically from our storage portfolio. We got everything in there, and I think it's a very complete platform that we have that we can offer into the market. This is an overview where you can see where we put basically the storage units in there. Just to give you a heads up, we support NVMe over Rocky Storage Network. We do have the network switches as well, so we can provide everything in there, native NVMe over Rocky. So Rocky stands for RDME over Converged Ethernet, and RDME is for Remote Direct Memory Access. So this is a new standard basically that we see in the market, and we adopted that immediately in our platform. So all the resources that we had from compute were not enough, so that's basically why they optimize the protocols and make it a more storage solution and more performant. The all-flash storage arrays, we claim that we have the highest performance platforms, like 21 million IOPS. I think it is 20 or something and a little bit, but this is the fast platform that you can buy in the market at the moment. From a high security and availability standpoint of view, we claim almost 100%. I will go into detail as well. I hope I can make it in time because I've got a lot to share. I will skip this one because we're not going to focus on that. This is the storage portfolio from a Dorado perspective. We have the Dorado 3000 V6, comes in a 2U rack and has 2 controllers per engine. The controllers can be expanded until like 16 in total. It seems like the same as the 5000 though, but the difference is that we have a lot more cores in that and we can address more disks. And these disks, the numbers that we see here today, like 1200, are all flash disks. So you can imagine how much performance we can get out of these platforms. So this is the entry level one. We have the mid-range with the 6000 in there and the 8000 and the 18000 for really high-end, high availability, 7 nines uptime guarantees of this specific platform. We support basically all the front-end ports and infrastructures that we have in the market, and at the back end we support for the entry-level one, like says 3.0 and 100 gig Ethernet for the mid-range and the high-end platforms. This is the controller basically. What you see here is we specifically use our Kunpan 920 processor that gives us more than even 2 times the performance. We use our own storage SSDs that we have. We developed our own SSD disks, and we have specifically optimized the SSD controller chip for that. We have a management chip in there that makes it a lot easier to offload all the management tasks. Something familiar is also built-in into the DAEs, the disk array enclosures, to offload some housekeeping stuff towards the DAE. And we have an AI chip that supports all kinds of stuff. highly intelligent, this will definitely give you a boost for performance in general. Here we see the self-developed Palm drives. We can fit like 36 total in just one enclosure, 2U high. We claim to have roughly, this is a very conservative number, a 3-to-1 ratio when it comes to data reduction in total. Okay, the architecture. App is solid. So what we mean by that is that we provide our customer with the high availability platform in the market that you can find at the moment. This is a matrix. You can also refer to as a grid. Oh, I'm sorry, as a grid. Everything is connected to each other, so it's all connected. So this specific front-end port is not only connected to this controller, but also to this one and this one and this one and so on. And the backend is exactly the same designed as that. So that means whatever fails in the system, we always have a path to reach the data. This is an overview that we show you that the multi-controller fault tolerance. In the first scenario, we will let 2 controllers fail in just one single engine. These little ruitjes, I don't know how you call that in English, but these ruitje, this green one is yellow one. These are basically data that sits in the memory of that specific controller. So we need to move that, and we can do it easily. So 2 controller fails in just specific one engine, and you don't have any disconnection. It's all seamless. The host doesn't even know that is happening. The next one, we have an entire engine failing, and we do the failover to the next one. I can't make it more simple than this, and you can see everything is connecting to the backend, so the disks are always available to that specific controller or engine. The last one, this is basically the 18,000. We can even let 7 controllers fail after one another, and that comes with something very unique, of course. So the first one fails, the next one fails, etc. Or maybe we can use this for I don't know, upgrading the entire platform as well. So we only need just one single front-end port to be able to swap the entire engine, and you can still move on with your daily work. This is a little bit in more detail. What it does is it shows you how the data flows towards the storage controllers. What happens if one storage controller fails, the other one can take it over. This is because everything is shared. We have a shared front-end infrastructure. We have a shared storage controllers, and also for the backend, everything is shared. Totally optimized grid or matrix, smart matrix, as we call it. In this case, we show you what it will do to your business, basically. If a controller fails, it will definitely have some kind of impact. And it has to do with the response time. So the response time of the backend storage, in this case. So what we do, we tested a solution A, solution B, and our Dorado. And we just measured the timeouts that we get on the platforms themselves. So first one, the controller fails in engine 1. You see that in storage solution A has a response time of like 4 seconds, and B has a latency or response time of 6 seconds, and we do it just in 1 second. This has everything to do how we build it up from inside out. If another one fails in the other engine, another controller fails, you see different scenarios at the other 2 solutions, but we still have just 1 second. And if another fails in the same engine, we can still have access. What it only does is you can see that the performance is just a little bit less as it was before. Of course, because we only have 1 controller left. So there is a performance penalty. In scenario A, you just lose your data. You don't have any access to your data at all because they can't make use of that. I think it's animated, yes. So this controller can't get to this data on this specific disk array. Okay. This is a scenario that shows you that what Hyper Metro can do for you. It's an active-active solution and a DR solution. We can basically create a three-site scenario. In this case, we have an active-active site. So we have site A and site B. And we have a quantum server on site C, which we can cascade all the data to. And in the first scenario, in this one, we called it serial, means that we have an active-active synchronization over the two locations, and we have an asynchronous replication to another location. So whatever happens here, like viruses, if you get a virus into the company, all your data is infected, and due to the fact that it is a synchronous replication, you will have the virus on site B too. That's why we do this asynchronously and make sure that we have a history on this location specifically, and then we can rebuild everything from the time that the virus was not in. You can also do it asynchronous and asynchronously, but still this is a serial-based solution, so 3 sites. In the parallel solution, we have like one-to-many, so we can set up like a synchronous active-active environment on 2 production sites, and from the production A site, we can move the data over the LAN to site C. And also, again, we can also do this asynchronously on both sites if you don't want the virus to get to the other side as well. And at last, we have a star solution that gives you the highest availability that you can get, because due to the fact that we can actually have the active-active in this case and synchronous asynchronous totally differently set up on site A and site B. And of course, again, we can do it is also with synchronous and asynchronous with a low latency on the others on site B. So from A to B to C in 2 scenarios. Ever fast. What does that mean? We can always provide the latest functionality when it comes to controllers. We have a program for that, but first I'd like to show you what we do from a performance perspective. So when we look at the Dorado, the V3, so that's the old one, we had a great performance as well in that time. But the V6 18,000 does like 20 million IOPS in total with a latency of 1 millisecond. And how do we do that? This is the infrastructure. It shows you that this is a grid as well. So this is the smart matrix. And we show in this slide that from the controller front-end port until all the way to the disks at the end, we have a sub-millisecond latency. So the response time of this platform is totally optimized. Nobody else has that. It's a very technical slide, I'm aware of that, but I hope it gives you an idea that from the front end until the back end, and not until the back end card, but until the disks, so it's a little bit further than most of the other competitors, is actually 0.1 milliseconds latency. Okay, this gives you a great overview of what we mean by shared. The shared front-end adapter is a really shared environment, and also the storage controllers and the DIE. The LUNs that we create are not owned by any controller at the front. So this is totally transparent. Any single controller can make use or can access that specific LUN. And that is quite unique in the market. So we have a global cache. So every single controller can access the global cache. And the global pool of storage we have, exactly because that is important. If you can't get access from one of these adapters to this disk or to that disk, or maybe a disk array, or maybe an entire RAID group, it doesn't make really sense. You can't get the highest availability, if you like. We do that with RAID 2.0 Plus. That is a very complex array technology that we use, and I can spend quite some time talking about that. I would like to skip that for today. If anyone wants to know what we mean by RAID 2.0 plus, I'm happy to answer that and help them to get to understand that. This is what it does basically. It just shifts it. It doesn't really matter. Every single controller, or maybe a storage controller who has the most resources available, get to work with the blocks that are presented to the disk. So it doesn't really matter how it will go through your system, as long as it gets to the disk and everyone can get to the specific data in the future. Okay, this is resource dynamic scheduling. I like to skip that because I don't think I've got a lot of time left. But it shows you that everything is scheduled. This has everything to do with quality of service. We can even isolate workloads and put it on specific cores if you like, and otherwise we can share it basically among all the cores in the storage system. Okay, consistent performance experience. Whatever you do with the backend and the configuration within a platform has some kind of a performance penalty. Not entirely for us. So when you use RAID 5, for instance, it does actually do something with the performance with the disks. If you use RAID 6, you get an extra performance penalty. We don't have that. Even if you use triple parity and snapshot functionality, we don't see any performance degradation in the platform. Even with the garbage collection, and that is the good part, we can actually put the specific feature into one of the DAEs and let them take care of the garbage collection of the disks. So the controller can handle all the requests from the hosts, and the garbage collection can be post-processed to the DAEs, if you like. Inline compression, of course, that does have something, will do definitely something with your performance. Of course, every single company has that. Inline deduplication, again, a performance penalty there. But overall, if you look at the performance degradation of the entire platform, is a little bit over 22% or 21%. And the competitors, what we tested with mixed workloads, and you can see it right here, is like with 8K blocks, has almost, well, divided by half. So we can actually show in this slide that we are most efficient when it comes to performance. AI powered. This is an option. This is not something that you need to have, but I think it is wise to select this option in your platform. It actually provides you with 8 teraflops of extra performance. When we look at the read cache hit ratios, when you, for instance, to take the let's say the VDI environment, boot storms, prefetching of data. I know for sure that if I request or open a certain VDI, so the virtual desktop, I know what other data will be read it after that. So I do the prefetching, and I will get everything into the controller and into the memory, so that when the other data is accessed, it's already there, and that gives us a performance boost like 50% in total. And the same counts for data reduction and data compression. Going to skip this one. Flash ever. What does that mean? We have the disk controller, so we have the old controller and all disk enclosures. What we do, we just simply add a new enclosure to the controller and do the failover, basically move the data seamlessly to that controller, and we can get rid of the old one. So that is the first scenario that we offer. We have a controller replacement. That means we just add another controller to that specific storage array. We connect it with the old controller. We sync the memory. We sync all the information, all the configuration details in there, and we just get rid of the, oh, this is animated, get rid of the old controller. And then all of a sudden you have all the new features of that specific new controller. So we have a flash ever program. The customer can just buy initially a storage array and get the extra services. It's like 35% in total of the investment, and get a replacement of controllers after a year or 5. So that's how we upgrade the entire platform. So, and then all of a sudden, if you do that and you combine that together with the disk arrays and with the controllers, you can easily move and migrate. It's not really migrating because the data is always accessible. It's all, everything is on the fly. And when you migrate an environment, your data at least, then you always have a performance penalty, or you get a timeout, or you have a window that you need to shut down everything. But in this case, we can just seamlessly move on to the next next version, and maybe even to the next one after that. So this is actually some kind of an investment protection for the end customer, and that's a specific program that we developed for that. Okay. Only for the Ocean store, we have 15,000 customers worldwide. This is not really accurate. It is higher already, but these are the numbers also from late 2019, begin 2020. And we focus on a couple of verticals like finance, government, and also the enterprise and the carrier business. So this shows you that we are doing very well at the moment. We were in, I think it was 2020 as well. We were the leading vendor in the Gartner quadrant, and we were ranked 3 when it comes to the global storage market share. So we are doing tremendously well, and we are still growing. Some rewards that we got. I like to skip this because I think this is important, of course, but I have something else that I want to share with you guys. And this is a little overview of what we did in this session. So the highest level availability, active, no learn ownership, that is important, cross-engine load balancing, and flash ever, and storage federation and smart virtualization within the platform. And the smart virtualization shows that we can do the no learn ownership on the controllers as well. So you will get this presentation. I think Maxine will share that to you. But there is something that I would like to spend just a couple of minutes, and I just have a couple of minutes left. So this is really cool. I just wrote something down. There is something that we are trying to develop. It is in a pilot phase. We're not there yet. I need to be professionalized, but what I want to share with you guys is that we want to start a Huawei technical community, specifically for our partners. This is actually only legit to all the technical guys. So think of architects, like pre-sales and post-sales, installation specialists or specialists, and we have all kinds of titles, but it is not a sales event, not a sales community. Only the technical guys of all our partners are invited. So what's in it? For you guys, we will provide you with deep dive product training and roadmap information. I can't share roadmap information today because I don't have all the NDAs signed. So if you you join the community, you will get all that information, and you can also meet the specialists from our side. We provide you with hands-on labs with an eLab environment. We will help you to get certified. We can provide all kinds of events within our company, so within our office in Rijswijk, but also externally. We're thinking about that too, like Install, for instance, near Utrecht. Great environment to present the new portfolios. You will get all the insights of the portals that we have, the online tools that we can make available for you guys. So this is specifically for everyone who joins this community. We will create a professional landing page for our partners to register for certain events and register yourself as one of the team members of this technical community. So what I said already is that it is in a pilot phase, so it's not concrete yet. So if you have any ideas that you would like to add to this community, these are just a couple of bullets that just popped up in my mind. But if you have anything else, please share that with me, right? So you can send your request or maybe your idea to robertwilhelmlispet@huawei.com, or you can call me, right? I'm always open. I'm not a threat because I will only deliver my resource as a resource actually. So I am available for you guys. I'm not going to talk about pipeline. I'm not going to talk about opportunities. If you want, we can talk about designs, of course. But I'm here to serve you guys. I want to make sure that you get the right training, right education, and be an extension of our company. And I would like to make sure that you can be successful with the right knowledge to serve in the Dutch market. So other than that, I would like to thank you all for joining and listening in, and I hope it is useful. Again, reach out to me. Here's my phone number. I'm open for any discussion. I hope to see you all in the near future really soon, and I hope you can join our technical community. So thank you for all.
Thank you, Robert, for this clear presentation. I was already enthusiastic about Huawei Storage proposition, but I even become more enthusiastic after seeing this presentation.
Sounds really good. Thanks a lot.
Yes, one important thing also to say is that Huawei also have a really great storage promotion. If you want to enjoy the NVMe benefits with SAS SSD pricing within the same capacity, Huawei has a promotion which is valid until the end of this year for the Ocean Store Dorado 5000 v6 and Ocean Store Dorado 3000 v6. Where you get NVMe SSD pricing for the same price as you get the SAS SSD disk as well. So also a really cool thing to remember if you have a storage project running, so we can deal with it for you guys as well. Dirk, are you already ready for your presentation?
Yes, I'm ready.
It's all yours.
I think I need to get the rights first to share. Could you give the share rights to the other Dirk in the room, because I'm entering with 2 Dirks? Yes, thank you. Let's see. Yes, this works. Also put on my camera to give an extra dimension, since I'm using the product that I'm presenting. So hello everyone, my name is Dirk Waardenburg, and I'm the business development manager for our intelligent collaboration portfolio. And this intelligent collaboration portfolio is what the IdeaHub series is part of. So what is this IdeaHub? The IdeaHub is our all-in-one device serving the corporate environment. So it incorporates the major functionalities that we see present within the meeting rooms or any other smart environment, such as projection. People, when in a meeting, they would like to project what's on their own device. Normally, you might need a beamer or many other cables. This can be done in 4K and low latency with the IdeaHub, wireless and wired. It's also a digital whiteboard. So the IdeaHub is a large touchscreen. It is for knowledge sharing, so also in an inactive state, it can still be very useful. You can showcase live streaming, showcase on a set time frame business information, such as the weather or the changes in the company, you name it. You can just put it in a set time frame. So it's an extension of your office. It has a built-in OPS and runs on Windows 10 and Android 9, and therefore all your favorite applications can be used on the IdeaHub. So you don't have any limitations there. So your full Office 365 package, you can just use it on the IdeaHub itself. Last but not least, it's also our video conferencing device. It has a built-in camera, built-in microphone array, and several AI functions to really help bring that meeting to another level. Some scenarios in which we think that the IdeaHub comes fully to its rights is, of course, the meeting room, in training sessions or smart education, in the banking sector, finance, open office spaces, executive boardrooms, essentially any area in which video conferencing or the other smart functions are used. Starting a little bit on the exterior, elegant and simplicity, and this was our slogan for the design. The IdeaHub series is made to really serve the user. So the user is central, and that is why in the design we've also chosen for a minimalist design. Normally, conference systems, they are large and cold devices, where the IdeaHub we've chosen for an elegant design with a wide frame, so it really blends in with the rest of the room. So when you walk into the space, you can focus on the meeting itself rather than the systems that are present. And the IdeaHub is available in a 65 and an 86-inch version. And both of them you can put either on a rolling stand, so they become mobile, or you can mount them on a wall. As said, the goal of the IdeaHub is to integrate all these functionalities that are frequently used in a corporate environment. So also, the goal of the IdeaHub is to make life easier. You see here two scenarios. In the picture on the left, you see several functionalities that are present in this meeting room. You can have a meeting, you can have a projection session, but you need a lot of devices to achieve this. You see a beamer on the wall, speakers on the speakers present, microphones on the table, since the meeting room is quite large, you name it. And on the right side, you have the same functionalities, but all incorporated into one device. And this is where we see collaboration will be going. The IdeaHub itself, it has a 4K touchscreen. The small one has ELED, the big one has DLED. ELED is also 30% thinner. Both of them, they have 1 millimeter precision. So combined with our low writing latency, when you write on the IdeaHub, for example, when you open the whiteboard application, it really gives a seamless experience and ensures that it feels as easy as pen and paper. Other than that, it has intelligent video and text display, meaning that the IdeaHub itself adjusts its own brightness. When, for example, you show a video or a Word document, it recognizes this and then adjusts the brightness as such. So you always have the best brightness set for you to have the best view on the large screen. Then on the camera. So the IdeaHub has a built-in camera, but the IdeaHub has a built-in 4K camera. And it has 1800 TVL. It's quite technical, but it essentially means that the IdeaHub itself, they can even distinguish a human hair. And also it uses next generation cutting edge conversion technologies to ensure that the background noise are all suppressed in an efficient way. And last but not least, it also has stable performance for over 30,000 hours. Then a little bit further on the hardware, it also has a 12 linear microphone array built into the top frame. And with these microphones, these are also equipped with beamforming technology. For those not familiar with beamforming technology, beamforming essentially means that the microphones focus on the source of sound. Conventional microphones, they try to gather all the sound that are around it. With beamforming, they create beams, virtual microphones. And what you achieve with this is that you only hear what you want to hear. So background typing or other noises that are just side issues, they are automatically filtered out. With these microphones, you can reach up to a full 8 meters radius and a full 180 degree in front of the IdeaHub. So in most cases, you do not need any microphones on the table anymore. If, for example, you have a meeting room that's 12 meters, then you can still attach additional microphones to the IdeaHub for the last 4 meters, so there won't be any problem. Also, the IdeaHub has a ½ degree in sound source positioning, meaning that if you stand shoulder to shoulder, 8 meters in front of the IdeaHub can still recognize which of the two persons is talking. And this is useful for one of the AI functions that we will touch upon later. Now we come to the whiteboard part. So as I said, the IdeaHub has a 1 millimeter precision in writing. Combined with that, it has an ultra low writing latency. This means that when you write on the IdeaHub, there's almost no delay. I think a well-known pain point when you have used a digital whiteboard in the past is that when you're writing, you always need to calibrate a little bit because there's a little bit of a delay and it makes it feel not that natural and also not that easy and even fun to use. What we want to try to achieve, with this IdeaHub is to ensure that the step from a normal whiteboard to a conventional, to a new one, is as seamless as possible. That is why, as you can see here, compared to other high-end systems, we've set the latency as low as possible. Now, this is a video that shows the difference. I think it's quite clear. It's just that when you put the pen on the IdeaHub, compared to a conventional one, it feels like the ink is actually coming out of the pen. Other than the latency and writing experience, we've also built in some smart functions, such as intelligent handwriting recognition. As you can see in the video, when you write on the IdeaHub and activate this function, the handwritten text will be automatically converted into more eligible text. Another function that we have is graphic recognition. You can see it in the video as well. When you draw on the IdeaHub, for example, a rectangle and arrows, it will automatically be converted into actual rectangles and actual arrows. Ideal for flowchart drawing, for example. You do not need to sketch something and then later remake it in Visio again, because you can always save it on the IdeaHub itself or directly send it out to the people you're having this brainstorm session with via email. Other than these smart functions, we've also ensured that using the IdeaHub really feels intuitively. As you know, with a conventional whiteboard, you're able most of the time to wipe it out with your hands. So that is why you can also erase on the whiteboard without clicking on an eraser. You can immediately, as you can see here, wipe it with your hands or with your fists, making the IdeaHub very similar to the whiteboard that you're already using today. Next is the projection function. So the IdeaHub also supports projection, wireless with and wired. Wired, of course, with HDMI, and wireless through multiple ways. We have built our own IdeaShare application, and with this application, you just type in the code on the screen, and you're immediately projecting your content. The only condition is that you need to be on the same network as the IdeaHub or connected to the IdeaHub's hotspot. For those that say, I do not want to download software or I'm not able to connect to the same network, or when you have customers coming over or guests, we also have an alternative, which is the IdeaShare key. If you look on the image of the laptop on the left, you here see a button sticking out of the laptop. This is the IdeaShare key. It essentially is a USB with only one option, a big button. You plug it into your laptop, click on the button, and it will automatically project to the IdeaHub it is paired with. In all these options, so through HDMI or with the IdeaShare app or with the button, we also build in reverse control. So if you activate reverse control on the IdeaHub, you can control your laptop from the IdeaHub. This way, during a presentation, you do not need to walk back to your device again. you can immediately control the device from the IdeaHub. So you can go through the slides, open a file, go to your documents, you name it. This way, of course, it can become much more interactive. We have several functions. For example, in PowerPoint, you can directly make annotations on your PowerPoint, save it, and then send it out again. And also with our annotation function, you can always make a screenshot of the content that you're projecting. So you can always then make an interactive presentation and much more lively. Then the video conferencing. I've mentioned already the powerful hardware, such as a 4K camera and 12 microphone array. But combined with that, we have several AI functions. Speaker tracking, the auto frame, and the acoustic buffer. These functions I will now also demonstrate. The speaker tracking, the name already says it. The IdeaHub will zoom in to the person that is talking. This is of course ideal in a scenario when you have multiple people using the IdeaHub, because you would only be one person in the video conferencing call. So when you're talking, it can be difficult for the people sitting at home, for example, to see who is actually talking. With speaker tracking, automatically, without the use of a remote control, the IdeaHub will give that person the spotlight. Auto framing is another function. With auto frame, the IdeaHub recognizes how many people are in the room and then adjusts the screen as such. So if you have 2 people, it will automatically show only those 2. But if someone leaves to the bathroom, the screen will get adjusted. And finally, the acoustic buffer. The acoustic buffer is an invisible sound barrier. With these 12 beamforming microphones, you can select an area in which you want to pick up sound. Everything outside of this area will be blocked, as you can see in this image. Now, with this demonstration, I will first show the acoustic buffer. You can see me here. At the moment, I'm talking. At the moment, you can hear me. So I will now walk to the outside area. So I'll keep on talking. I'll keep on. Okay. But if I stand here, you can hear me. So this is like an invisible wall, which is the acoustic buffer. Now I will show you the speaker tracking function. I will first put it on. So when I start talking now, the IdeaHub will see, oh, this person is talking, but one of my colleagues was talking.
Hello, everyone. Can you hear me?
See?
Cool.
The IdeaHub automatically recognizes who is talking and then give that person the spotlight. Let's now show the auto frame. So now we're sitting with 2 people. The IdeaHub will see, okay, these are the people in the room and adjust the screen as such. But if I now go through the bathroom, for example.
It's only me, right? Hi. I'm the only person in the screen.
And if I walk back, it will then focus on us both again. So these are the smart functions built into the camera, which can be used with any video conferencing software that you want to use. Finally, what I also want to mention, the IdeaHub is always delivered with an OPS, meaning that it's every application that you already used on Windows 10, you can use. So the IdeaHub is compatible with Zoom, with Teams, with WebEx, BlueJeans, and a video conferencing client that you are familiar with. And the IdeaHub comes in an S and a Pro version. The difference is the S version has a 1080p camera and 1080p data sharing, while the Pro version has a 4K camera and 4K data sharing. And the S version doesn't have the speaker tracking. And what we also want to mention is that we recently also launched the IdeaHub board. We will not cover it in this presentation, But later, if you're interested, you can always contact us for more information. The IdeaHub is our version without a camera and with an optical anti-blue light filter built in. This can be used in scenarios where you only want to have a camera, for example, on another angle, or just do not want to use a camera at all. It can be used in corporate, but also very suitable for education. Thank you, everyone, for your time. Yeah, this was my presentation, Wim.
Thank you, Dirk, also for the clear presentation. We also have a couple of screens on our office in Son, and we are really enthusiastic about it. If one of the partners who joined this webinar wants a demo, we can also arrange it at our office, or we can visit the new demo center of Huawei as well. This was our webinar. Thank you all for joining us. Don't forget to fill in the survey afterwards so you can win earbuds. If you have any questions related to this webinar, or you got projects which are really interesting regarding the webinars, please let us know, and we can join you regarding this project as well. Thank you again, and let's have contact together very soon. Thank you all.